No. No, that's when I'm here.
What is going on here?
I'm trying to
Oh, okay.
push.
I'm pressing out. Okay,
Yeah.
I get it. Well, okay.
Okay, so don't let me move.
All right,
You move your leg from this.
All right,
Ready?
All right, yep.
Pretty bad.
That's because that's my weakest one. Let's do
Okay.
the other direction.
Ready?
Yep. You're too strong. You're gonna pull my hip out of my socket. Let's try the other side. Let's try the other side. Comparison. That's my weak side. The external rotation of the hip is the weakest there.
Okay, don't let me move you.
Yep.
Ready?
Yep.
Okay.
Now in.
Don't let me move you. Ready? That was better.
And my right leg's a lot stronger.
Yeah.
This is right.
Yeah.
Okay, don't let me move you.
Mm-hmm.
You got tension?
Yeah.
That sounds pretty good. Now we'll do I'll pull this time. So you're externally rotated.
Yep.
All right, don't let me move you.
So today's physical therapy session was interesting to say the least. But before we get to that, how are you? I always love hearing from you and what you're up to, what you're training for. And also let me know if there's any training topics you want me to cover in future videos. You know, I'm still kind of new to this training series thing, so I'm always open to your suggestions. And I also want to give you what you want, so please let me know in the comments below and I will take a look at them. But with that said, today's physical therapy session. So where do I even start? So in some ways it was good. So I walk in and I tell Tim, the physical therapist, Tim Hilden, physical therapist, gait analysis, really used to working with runners. So lucky to have a place like CU Sports Medicine in Boulder that I can go to. And you know, when you're in Boulder, you're used to working with people who see professional runners all the time. So lucky to have that kind of service here. But anyway, with that said, I started telling Tim my issues. And the big thing is, you know, nothing typically hurts right now, but I don't feel right. My stride feels off. I feel like both legs are working differently. And I feel that if I add mileage or increase my speed too much, I'm going to get injured. And so, you know, he's taking all this information in and then he starts doing some tests. And the one I'll show you with me and Sage kind of playing around with it, it's where he rotates my leg in and out, and then I try to hold the rotated position as he pushes or pulls, and pretty strongly too. That's an important part of the test. And my left leg, super sturdy. Right leg, he barely had to push or pull, and my right leg would just cave in. Like I had no resistance against his strength, which as somebody who likes to strength train, a little frustrating, you know. But he's like, you know, this is something I tend to see with certain people, and about 20 or so years ago, he started seeing it with runners, and there's always this common denominator of, I just don't feel like things are working the same way on both legs, or just something feels off. And what he concluded, and that we tested out after, is that it's actually a neuro issue. So I could do all the strength training I wanted. I could focus on form every single day, and it wasn't going to solve the problem, which in a way, like, it was good to hear that, but then it was also frustrating to hear that it was out of my control. So that's something I kind of have to deal with right now. But the good thing is that he could fix it. And so I'm not going to be able to show you, but basically, back up here, he had one hand firmly planted on my lower back, that's pretty close to my sacrum, and the other hand, I guess I'll say the front of my hip. That might be right in technical terms, but you get the point. And so then it didn't hurt at all, but he would firmly press and push on it. And so he does that. We go back and do the test, and suddenly I can now hold him off. If he tries to push, I can keep my leg in the position. And so just the difference of strength immediately was crazy. It's almost like magic, even though I know that's not the case. And even when I was walking or just doing different movements, I immediately felt better. But at the same time, I kind of knew it wasn't perfect yet. And so he put me on the treadmill, had cameras back and the side. And what we found out is that when I run, my left leg, what you could see looking is that, like, I could lift my right knee, hip a lot higher, probably because I was pushing off more with that left leg, which is interesting because that's my injured side. But my right leg, I wasn't getting nearly as much knee lift. Like, he basically said, it looks like you're running two completely different paces, even though you're not. It's just different legs are doing different things. And so that's what I'm going to have to work through now. And it's hard to tell, like, what's causing what. Like, is it just that I had this neuro issue for so long that my right leg just stopped working properly, and I'm going to have to retrain it to use or to push off as much as I do on my left leg? Or is it going to be a combination of a bunch of other things? So unfortunately, right now, I don't have another physical therapy appointment with him until January, because he's booked till January. But hopefully I'll get put on the wait list, and I'll get an appointment sooner, and hopefully start working on that. And I'll try to be mindful of my own and try to do little things. But that's where I stand right now. This is why you go see a physical therapist, because I can have all the knowledge in the world, which I admit I don't, but I do know a lot about running form and running mechanics, but none of that was going to help me with this kind of issue. And it's so important to have, like, a trained, skillful eye. Even though I know what to look for, to have somebody who does gait analysis every single day, like working with runners, that's more of a trained eye than I will ever have unless I start doing that on a daily basis. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. Have been feeling pretty good. Have been getting in more speed workouts. This week I did another fartlek. What was it, like 5 times 3 minutes fast, 2 minutes easy. And my 3 minutes fast was faster than my 2 minutes fast the week before, and I felt like I was putting in the same effort. So that was a good sign despite everything. I'll increase my mileage just slightly this week, it's going to end up being like 3 or 5 miles. So it's not that I'm feeling bad, but I know I'm losing a ton of power by having this discrepancy. So we'll see, right? I mean, that could cost me not only minutes. It's hard to equate how much time I can lose over an ultra distance if I don't fix little issues like this. And that's what I hope other runners know too. Like, even if something just a little off, like let's say you just have a hip drop on one side, you're going to lose a lot of efficiency as you're running, and that could add to significant amount of times during races and stuff, and it could impact whether you get a PR or not. And so that's why it's so important to always be in tune with your body or get checkups from people who can see what you're doing. Because even if you feel good, like if a little something's off, again, like you're losing time. And I don't know, I know that doesn't matter for everybody, but even if you're not losing time, like you're probably going to feel better if you fix those little things. So I think that's it for right now. About to cook dinner soon with, well, I'm going to cook dinner this time. Sage is out getting groceries now because it was his turn. And it's his birthday tomorrow, and you'll probably see this after his birthday. But, you know, you can wish him a happy belated birthday. I'm sure he'll appreciate that. I think he's kind of bummed out that, you know, we really can't do anything because Boulder, we're not in like total lockdown, but it's hard to go eat in a restaurant right now. So wish him a happy birthday. I'm sure he'll really appreciate it. And again, thank you so much for watching. Like it's crazy to me that like being like an overly shy person, it really warms my heart to have so many people following me and like the nicest people. You are like such a nice person if you're watching this. Like I always actually like looking through comments, or sometimes I used to get like anxiety. It's like, oh, it's the internet, somebody's gonna say something bad. But generally, like, there's such nice comments, and that truly means a lot to me. So keep spreading that kindness. I'll definitely try to keep doing that too. So yeah, time for dinner.
So Sage and I, we recently got this massage gun, and we absolutely love it. You know, when they first came out, I wasn't totally sold, but now like Sage and I, we're using this all the time just because it feels good, and I think it works too. All right, time for second breakfast, also dinner for today. So we kind of made like a tofu scramble hodgepodge plate. Actually, one of my favorite dinners. I know some people are like, oh, it's too much for breakfast, but you know, I grew up watching Lord of the Rings with my dad, so second breakfast it is. But I think that's it for today's video. Until next time, keep running wild.